Well, welcome back YouTube. It is time for another video. The last video I released was on February the 2nd, and it is now April 27th. It has been 12 weeks to the day since I released my last video. That is by design, because I had a motivation and a desire to actually focus on seeing how much I could get done in that period of time. That leads up to the entire purpose of this video. This is actually, to the day, the 2-year anniversary of when I pulled this bus behind me into my driveway and have been working on it every single day since that day. The purpose of this video is to do a walk around tour and show you what 2 years worth of work has accomplished, and more specifically to address what the last 12 weeks has transformed the inside of this bus from to where it is right now, and all of the things that I've managed to accomplish in the past 12 weeks. You may think 12 weeks is a very long time, and I should have got a lot done. I did get a lot done, but when you're working on this kind of stuff with setbacks and everything else, not a lot of time. It has flown by, and it seems like yesterday that I released my last video. So the whole point to this video is to do a 2-year anniversary walk around, as though no one has ever seen any of my videos previously, so that they can have basically a tour video that covers everything in one video. I intend to show you what it looked like here the day that I brought it in, what it looked like here 1 month later when I was stripping it out, a month later when I was finished with all the inside prep and ready to start building, and then finally show you what it looks like today. So with that said, let's start a tour video and see what 2 years worth of work and 12 weeks worth of progress has done for me on this bus. This thing started out as a school bus somewhere in Virginia. It turned into a church bus in Halifax, Virginia, and now it is converted on the final leg of its journey into my amazing RV. This is Marv talking to you about Marv. So let's get after it. Alright, one of the first things that I want to run through is some of the stuff that I did on the outside of the bus. One of the first things that I attacked on this bus was replacing all of the lights that were on the outside of the bus with LED lights. So as you can see, I've changed my headlights here. Pretty cool to get a halo, and they do left turn signals, low beam, high beam. I really like those things. They are much brighter than the original lights. All the signals right here, they have LED bulbs inside of them. I replaced the original light fixture that was there with this one that's LED. It provides turn signals and running lights on the front, running lights on the back, which is red. And the other thing that I did was I replaced, they had panels over where the front emergency lights and stuff were. You can still see, if you look real close, you can see the holes from where the panels were. I've taken those panels off and I've replaced what was there with these LEDs. They are running lights and they are signal lights. You can see that I also have a camera system for driving. I have a front camera, 2 side cameras, and a reverse backup. I also added additional running lights up top and replaced the ones that were up there. Those are all LED. I've added a horn up there as well. You can see that, and then on the mast you can see that I have security cameras. It's a wide security system. I have a total video dedicated just to that system, but I've got security cameras all around this bus, inside and out, to capture everything that's going on. You can also see the solar racking. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll take you up on the roof and show you what that looks like. I am so close to being done. The next thing that I'm going to start doing is actually cleaning all of this up and start working on priming and painting, prepping, priming and painting. One of the pride accomplishments and my pride and joy on the bus is, if you look right here, you can see this stack that's coming up. There's also one on the other side. I converted the single exhaust output on the DT444E, which is a V8 Power Stroke engine, and I put a dual stack exhaust, one on each side of the bus, and I love that thing. It really adds some character to this bus, and I'm really proud of that. It was a nightmare. I have my first video on this bus actually goes through the entire details of how I did that. So if you're interested in what I had to do, underneath the bus is a myriad of pipes and everything else that was required to make that happen. So that covers the front right now on the bus. What I want to do now is take a walk and look at some other things. All right, well, the first thing I want to talk about is this bus had no underbody storage in it whatsoever. So the first thing that I added was this long box here, and I did it with specific design, intent, and purpose, and that was to house the propane system and propane tanks. I have two 30-gallon propane tanks. They are both full. They are both providing propane to the bus, and they have been sitting in there and providing propane to the bus for months. I actually have a video on that as well that shows when I brought that system up, and it has been up every day since then. I installed a tankless hot water heater. That hot water heater runs off of propane, and right above that on the inside is where my stove is. So just so you're aware, all of the propane infrastructure for this bus is tied right here in this area, directly above the tank. So I've got my hot water heater, and then above that I got my stove. So we'll see that when we go inside, but all of it is right there. It's very small, it's very compact. I've done a lot of leak checks on it. I do have propane detectors. I can show you one right back there. If you look, you can see that red 0 is actually the propane detector and telling me I have no alarm condition. If you look right there, it goes up through the storage cabinet, through the floor, and into the cabinet where the hot water heater and the stove are, and then it branches off from there and provides propane. So this was added. It is actually riveted to the floor on every cross member that goes across here along the entire length. And then the other thing that I added, just for insurance because I'm paranoid, is I put this cross brace in underneath and then bolted that to the frame as well, just for some extra peace of mind on that. The next thing that I did was I added this storage right here underneath. The installation method was exactly the same. Obviously I cut out the bottom frame of the bus, added that in. It is riveted up. I do not have any cross member support underneath it, but I don't know that I need it because it is primarily going to be the storage. I've got a lot of stuff in it now that I don't need, but it's primarily going to be the storage for water, electric, all the outside infrastructure components that I need. On the other side, and I'll take you over there and show you, but on the other side is the exact same storage box in the exact same size that is actually installed on the other side in the same place as well. One of the things that I want to show you on the outside is, so this is a split phase, goes up to 50 amp shore power input. This is primarily dedicated to providing split phase power to charge my 24 volt battery system on the 24 volt side. I also up here have a 30 amp single phase shore power input, and the purpose of this is to provide the appropriate power to my 12 volt system that I have installed and charge the batteries on the 12 volt side. This particular connection right here allows me to provide pressurized shore water to the bus and run off of pressurized shore water from an RV park. I've connected the hose from my house to it, all kind of things, just to test it out. But this is a pressurized input that allows me to put pressurized water on the bus. This is actually a dual purpose setup right here. So I have a gravity feed input right here, so I can gravity feed my tanks on the inside. I have two 42-gallon tanks, which gives me a total of 84 gallons. They're tied and balanced together. This allows me to put pressurized input onto the tanks and actually provides the ability to fill them under a pressurized system. It's still gravity feed, but it can take a pressurized input and put pressurized water in my tanks. This also doubles as the vent for my water tanks. I'll show you how that works inside, but I've got a T in the line for this, and this provides the connection that actually allows it to vent. And the vent is right down there, and it's tied to that, so it vents. One of the things that I found, because it took forever to fill the tanks, is that I actually did install one of these on the other side, and so I can actually simultaneously fill both of my water tanks at exactly the same time. I even have a Y fitting in the hoses that I can take a single pressurized water system, Y it off, put one on this side, one on the other side, fill both tanks at the same time. If I do one at a time, what winds up happening is that one side will fill and then they balance out, and it takes forever. So what I did was I just added the ability to fill both of them up at the same time. So that is the water inputs. That is the electrical inputs, hot water heater and propane system right there. One of the other things that I added was I have this mast system that you see right here that goes up, and at the very top of it is my Starlink antenna, which provides my internet access for the bus. It has been working flawlessly and great for quite a few months. I don't remember exactly how many, but it's been a while. And this entire bus is entirely self-sufficient and running off of its own internet, and has been doing so since this got installed. So that explains the infrastructure components of the outside. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is, as you can see with all the unpainted sheet metal that is here, this is all 16 gauge galvanneal steel. It doesn't typically rust unless I'm like an idiot and sand off the steel too much, and then it starts rusting a little bit, but I'm going to take care of that. I'm getting ready to start painting it. This port window is actually a recent addition that I put in to provide ventilation directly above the stove. One of the other things that I want to point out is this entire section right here used to be a side exit door, an emergency exit on the side of the bus. You can see the hinge right there. I had to delete the door because it was bent, because the catch at the top of the door got broken, and apparently the people using it before me kept slamming against it, or something happened. But anyway, it bent the door and I could not straighten it out, so I had to delete it. That was disappointing because I really wanted that door, but I had to get rid of it. So with that, you can see that I've got RV window there. That is actually an emergency exit. I've got my port window there, and I've got a window back there, and that goes into the bedroom area. Let's walk around and go to the other side. All right, we're on the other side. Let's continue with the RV window discussion. There's the other side of my bedroom. You can see I've got the exact same window over here that I have over there. I actually have a video on installing those and how I did that. This is actually the window that goes into my vanity room, and then that window right there is the one that is above my kitchen sink. And that one, the next one in line that you can see, that small one, is actually above where the dinette is. Then I've got another emergency exit window on this side, and then another window on the front of that. So I've got a lot more windows on this side than I do with the other side, and the reason for that is because of the way it's built out, and the stuff that's on the other side does not allow me to put windows, and you'll see that when we start talking about the inside. As you can see, I deleted every single school bus window on this side. There's the other exhaust stack for this side of the bus as well, and I replaced all the windows with 16 gauge galvanized steel. One of the other things that I want to show you is I built and installed this rack mount. That is the condenser unit for my dual zone mini split. This dual zone mini split runs on 220 AC, which is the entire reason why I have a 24 volt system in my bus. It is dedicated, with the exception of a few small circuits, to running my AC, and it works out really well. Here's another underbody storage unit that I added. Same installation process as all the other ones. I haven't quite figured out exactly what I want to put in there. I got a lot of ideas, but until I get ready to start putting this thing on the road, I don't really know what I'm going to put in there, but I know that I'm going to be using the hell out of all the storage that I have underneath this bus. There is one of the exhaust ports for one of my diesel heaters right there. I've got another exhaust port for another diesel heater that I have back here. This one supports the back of the bus. That one supports the front of the bus. I'm going to be adding a third diesel heater up here in the front, and the specific point and purpose is cab heat and defrosters for the windows, because the existing system just is not going to be sufficient. I added the Reflectix on the inside to my doors to try to keep some of the heat out from the sun, because the sun comes across the sky like this and goes down over there, so this side is baking in the sun all day long. Now here's my fuel tank. I'm going to figure out a way to redo this and fix it, because number one, I don't have a key for the lock, don't know where it is, don't know how to get one, so I'm going to redo this and figure out a better way to secure and lock this. This is the drain for my one of the inside units on my mini split for the front. I've got another one in the back there. So that pretty much wraps up everything on the outside. Oh, I do want to show you one more thing, and then we'll move on to the good stuff. So there is the other water input. Just like I showed you on the other side, it functions exactly the same, has the exact same inputs. It's just on this side. All right, so at this point, I think we're going to run up to the roof, and I'll show you what we've got for solar panels and a roof. Well, welcome to my roof, everyone. As you can see, I've got a rooftop deck. I've got a walkway down the center between the panels. I've got a max air fan here. I've got a max air fan up there. I created the walkway in between the panels so that I would have a way to do maintenance on the panels, like getting snow off or cleaning them. And in both instances, it has proved to be very effective and a useful addition to the way that the roof is laid out. Excuse me. So the front 6 panels that you see right there provides 1500 watts of solar power to my 24 volt system. And if I walk up this way, I've started at the back because the sun is still above the trees, so it's kind of glary, but as you can see, I have 4 panels back here. This provides 1000 watts of solar power to my 12 volt system. I've got a max air fan that I put right here. It worked out very conveniently. It's right in front of the shower. One of the other things I want to point out is that the reason that that fan is right there very specifically was because that was where the original school bus strobe light went through the roof. So I pulled that out, had a big gaping hole in the roof, and decided to put a max air fan there. Coming back a little bit, if you see all the hardware right there, so I've got 2 barrel bolts, I've got a handle, and I've got 2 hinges. What this does is this actually opens up, which I'll show you right now. Pull that back, pull that back, pull this up. There's my emergency hatch. So when I park and get somewhere and ready to actually start using the roof and stuff, I can come up here, open this thing up, and have access to the roof from my roof hatch, or from my emergency exit from inside. This is also right in front of the shower, and so if I need to, I can actually open it up and add extra ventilation to get any moisture or anything like that. So that's what I got there. Works out really good. This tube that you see right here that runs back, and that device right there, so that is actually a mobile mount for my Starlink antenna. So when I hit the road on this bus, all I do is come over here and I collapse this mast all the way down, pull my Starlink antenna off, come over here and mount it to that device right there. I still have a Starlink and it is mounted to that. I run the Ethernet cable that you see right here through this pipe, and I have tested it numerous times and it just slides right through. Run the Ethernet cable through the pipe, which helps keep it secure while going down the road. And I've got these little cable tabs where it's not inside the pipe, and right there as it goes into the antenna, and it secures the cable down and keeps it from flopping around while I'm going down the road, and I still have internet while I'm driving. My Starlink plan gives me mobile internet, so I intend to use it. One of the things that I do want to show you is that these panels right here, if you look, you can see they're offset a little bit, and they're offset a little bit to provide clearance for the emergency hatch so that I could still use that. So that's why they're like that. I could have tightened up the panels a lot by bringing them into the center, but I wouldn't have had that walkway, and that walkway has been a lifesaver and I like it. When I started this video, I was standing behind the Starlink mobile mount back there, and I'll show you in a second when we go back down to the ground, but I was standing over open air on support brackets that I created, and it didn't move. So that is the roof in a nutshell. This Max Air fan, by the way, is actually installed where the other emergency hatch was that was in the bus. It was completely trashed and unusable, and I had to get rid of it. So what I did was I used that big gaping hole in the roof for that, added some sheet metal, and installed a Max Air fan there as well. A couple of things that I want to point out up here. There's the top side of my dual exhaust. Have I mentioned how much I love that? It's awesome. This little black contraption that you see in front of you here is actually a digital TV over-the-air antenna. So no matter where I am, I can actually pick up and monitor local stations for weather, news, whatever the case may be, and have a over-the-air TV going into the system inside the bus. I have a TV that I'm going to set up in the rear bedroom, and I have one in the living room that I'll show you, and I can pick up over-the-air TV on those. This wavelength device that you see in front of you here is the heart and soul of my external internet access. I have a couple of different Wi-Fi networks set up on it. One of them is specifically and strictly devoted to my security system. You can see a camera right there. I have that camera that is set up to monitor the roof. If I have anything stored up here, I can always see what's going on the roof. And then I have security cameras all over the place. I have a specific video dedicated to everything that I have going on with my security system. But this right here is the heart and soul of my security system, and I have another network, and I have actually tested it, and I have been over 100 yards away from this bus and got internet connectivity in excess of 100 megabits per second off of that thing. So it works really well. I actually have a video that goes through a speed test on this particular system. It's called Wilderness Wi-Fi. If you're interested in how that works, and how I installed it, you can check out the Wilderness Wi-Fi videos on my YouTube channel. But that works out really well. One of the things that I do need to do is I want to be able to test this by laying it down, because obviously it's not going to travel that way, but I want to be able to lay it down and make sure that I can still get signal from my security system, so that even though I'm going down the road, I have multiple points of recording, because if it doesn't work, then I'm not going to be able to have visibility to what's going on the roof, and I may have to figure out something different for that. But there's the top side of where I installed my air horns, and they are in fact air horns, so and they are loud. So that in a nutshell is what I've got going on for my roof. This is my deck area. It is kind of small, but you know what, it's big enough. This is a school bus, and it's not a luxury yacht with a huge ass deck, anything like that, but it'll provide enough space for me and a couple of friends to come up here in some chairs and sit down, enjoy sunset, stargazing, whatever the case may be. So that covers everything from the roof perspective. Solar panels. Oh, I do want to point out, so that on this side I do have the same tubing setup that you saw in the back, but what this does is this provides the actual output from the Starlink antenna down and into my network router for my wide area network input on my router, so that my router can route internet to all my connected devices inside the bus. So that's that. One of the things I do want to point out, though, if you notice, you can see that the solar panels are a bit dirty, and that's because it's spring and all the pollen and all the other stuff. But I do want to point out that I actually came up here a week ago and sprayed them down, scrubbed them down, hosed them off, dried them off, and that's what they look like today, a week later. This walkway was a huge asset in that. It was a huge asset in snow removal. It took me 30 minutes to get these all cleaned up, both the front and back here. So it was relatively quick and easy, but it doesn't last very long, that's for sure, not this time of the year. I'm going to let it set for a little bit and then come up here and clean them again. Hopefully the pollen will settle down, but I need to keep them clean to increase the efficiency on the way they operate. Last year when I first installed them, I was getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 90% efficiency on my back system, and pretty close to that on the front as well. And right now, so far, the only thing that I've seen, the most that I've seen, is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 65-70% on that. So I need to clean them up and try to increase that efficiency. But these are used panels. I got them from Santana Solar out in Arizona. So I don't know how old they are, but they do work. They do keep up with everything. The one thing that I can say is my front panels, as long as I've got sunlight, they will run my air conditioners 24/7. If I have cloudy days, then I need to worry about it, and I wind up having to connect my generator to keep them running. But at this point, my ACs have been running 24/7 for about 2 weeks, and I have yet to connect the generator. But the weather has cooperated in that regard. It's been closed a few days, but I let it ride and just to see how it would recover, and it recovered well. Matter of fact, right now I'm sitting pretty close to about 80% charge on my batteries, and when I looked at it this morning, it was in somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40%. So it's keeping everything up. So with that, I want to show you a few other things downstairs, and then we'll go inside. All right, here we are at the back of the bus. So if you see those 4 bolts right there, those represent the mounting point of the mobile Starlink antenna mount. When I started the video up there, I was standing back here. So this is the area that I was actually standing in. It doesn't move, it doesn't vibrate, it doesn't do anything. And the way that I did that, I have the unistrut that extend out, unistrut tying it all together, and then I have these angle brackets, one on each side, that come down and I intentionally dropped them all the way down to the bottom part of this because this is much stiffer and much more structural integrity than trying to bring it up here because this is pretty flimsy. So again, showing you also that I replaced all of the lights back here with LEDs, so signal, brakes, running lights, it's all working. These represent strobe lights, and if you look right up there, you can see there's another strobe light back there. I added strobe lights in the front, in the back, and all up and down the side, so that if I'm ever in an emergency on the side of the road, nobody's going to say they didn't see me. Real quick, there is a camera that I have for my back door. There's one that runs and looks up the entire front of the bus. There's one that looks all the way up to the front of the bus on the driver's side. I also have a camera that looks out the front of the bus as I'm driving down the road. And I also have one that looks down on the front door, just like this one right here monitors the back door. So I have 360-degree coverage of security. One of the first things that I did do is that I added a little bit of personality to the back of the bus, and I added these window murals across here. The one thing that the reason I'm pointing this out is that I want to point out my wolf thing here that you can see right here. What you need to understand is that the blue irises of the wolf on both sides are actually backlit by blue LED lights. The pupils of both eyes are actually backlit by red LED lights, and when I hit the brakes, these pupils glow. These at night when the lights are on are always on and they always glow, and when I hit the brakes, the pupils light up. Just thought that was a cool addition. Kind of get your attention when the eyes of a wolf light up at you when you're going down the road. So thought I would share that. The other thing that I want to share with you too is that bar light right there, this light right here that I need to correct and fix, and that light over there, those are all tied into my reverse lights. So when I go into reverse, all of these light up and completely surround the back of the bus with a umbrella of light so that I can see very clearly what's going on. The other thing that I've done is I have them set up so they run off of the house batteries, so that if I ever need light back here, I can just flip a switch and they come on and they light up the back of the bus. I had to put a switch on the inside, and I'll show you that when we go on the inside, but I had to put a switch on the inside so that when I'm using these strictly for lighting the back of the bus, I can turn off the reverse horn, because otherwise it is a annoying set of noises that doesn't need to be there when you're not actually backing up. So that covers everything on the back side, the outside. At this point, I think we're going to take it inside and show you some real progress, and you can tell me what you think about it.